Don't be afraid to ask the money questions.
I knew that I would have to strictly limit the number of locations to work with. And that means that the scenes become much longer. And that is actually one of the structural ways in which comedy just doesn't work as well, because comedy moves faster. And if you look at my other scripts, I average maybe it's like a page and a half per scene. And here we had, I don't know what the average was, probably 3, but we had some scenes that were like 6, 7 pages long. I realized I can't be funny on a micro budget. Like, my sense of humor is just more expensive.
Figure out what you can make your movie for and then adjust accordingly. Few locations, few actors, on some of the other projects that I'm working on, definitely stripping some of the speaking roles away, especially now in the COVID era. But for this project, we didn't have a lot of speaking roles. We didn't have scenes with background. There were a couple, but we would pull in, friends and family if we needed a few people here, the funeral scene here, we were able to just rely on our people to fill those roles.
I find as a producer that where a lot of the surprise expenses come is actually the things that cost per person of the crew. So like catering or like anything else that that the number of crew members is going to exponentially increase. We were able to keep our crew really, really small and save money on that as well. Because I think those extra things are often forgotten until you're about to shoot. And then it's like, oh my gosh, catering's half our budget.
We didn't have the luxury of having, a 50-person crew. We had to keep it small, and in a way that, because of the location dictated that, and in a way it was a blessing in disguise, because we were nimble and we could move quickly. We didn't even need to necessarily have everyone on walkie because you were next to the person. So just small savings there.
Most of the places where we shot were the houses of those investors. One would think that in order to shoot in a location, you would have to pay the owner money. But I realized it actually works a lot better the other way. You first get them to give you money, and then you shoot in their house for free. Do you know what I mean? It's like because they are invested in this movie, and then loaning their abode to you for a couple of days is really, it's exciting. And they feel like they're helping you. They feel like they're part of the project. And we were actually worried that these places were too posh looking. But at the end of the day, it's remarkably easy to like dumb down a fancy place rather than make, a bare place look fancy.
I found the months after production wrapped to be much more challenging than the production itself.
So yeah, the cutting began. And what the cutting was, for me, it was twofold, because I went back to work. So I'm working full time, editing for money. And then on nights and weekends, I'm cutting my movie. And it was so solitary because literally I'm just in the edit room every waking moment alone. Meanwhile, submitting, cuts to festivals, getting turned down left and right by distributors, by festivals. Everybody else has moved on. It feels like, you're getting over a divorce. Your ex is like gallivanting with a younger girlfriend, and you're like stuck indoors, having gained 30 pounds. Like, it was just emotionally. And that goes on for like 9 months, So that part for me really was the most difficult, the most challenging.
You really have to make the fact that the film is going to happen a unavoidable reality, right? It can't be kind of like, if this works out, then maybe we'll do this, and I hope for this, and then that. It was always kind of like, this train is moving, and we have concrete steps that we need to take to keep the train moving forward. And if you want to join me on those steps, great. And if you don't, then I will keep doing those steps myself.